This is done on the back of Jeremy's video. So he was talking about creating Anki cards, and I love Anki cards, but my life's just too busy to go through them at the moment. I've just got a kid, and illness at this time of year. I've now just had 4 weeks wiped out by illness, and the family's been ill. It's just difficult to keep up sometimes. And then once the routine's lost, you just don't follow it because it's very hard just to pick up routines because you've got so many other things you can pick up. So I thought, okay, how can I fit an Anki card style remembering and sort of education into my routine without actually having to spend time purposely in front of a screen. And that's why I built Voice Tutor. So it works on the same principle. So it's questions, and then you answer the questions, and then you can get graded by the AI, and also you can look back through your questions, etc. So I'll go through a couple of demos. I might sort of do some of these purposely wrong, and then I'm going to go through a couple because it's a bit boring if I carry on going through them. But I'll start now, just so you can get a feeling for it.
Hello, learner. I'm here to help you study. Great to hear from you. I'm your voice tutor, and I'm here to help you learn through an interactive question and answer session. We'll work through questions together, and I'll provide feedback and explanations to help deepen your understanding. Ready to get started? Let me fetch the first question for you. All right, here's your first question from Deep Learning. What is gradient descent? Take your time and share your answer when you're ready.
Gradient descent is about as an optimization, and it's about finding the steepest curve to improve the training.
Good start. You're absolutely right that gradient descent is about optimization, and you've touched on the key idea of finding a direction to improve training. Let me refine that a bit though. Gradient descent is an optimization algorithm that iteratively adjusts the model's parameters by moving in the direction of the steepest descent of the loss function, not the steepest curve upward. Essentially, it calculates the gradient, which tells us the slope, and then takes steps downhill to minimize the error or loss. The goal is to find the parameter values that give us the lowest possible loss. So you had the right concept about optimization and using the gradient, but remember we're going downhill to reduce the loss, not uphill. Does that distinction make sense? Ready for the next question?
All right, I'm going to stop you here. So that's it. So you can go on and you can question it further if you needed to. So you could go, okay, I didn't really understand that, or maybe I want to learn a bit more about this particular area. So it's not just asking questions that you already know. You can put questions in that you don't know, and it will teach you. So I use this on my journeys to work, and when I'm washing pots and all that kind of stuff. When I've got my hands tied up, but I know I can still speak and I can still sort of remember, just so I'm not wasting any time. So what I can do is I can add questions in here. And this has all been written in Solvit. I did start in Cursor and then moved over to Solvit. I just like the way that Solvit could. You could test Solvit instantly. It just made the implementation a lot easier. So all you do is just add a question. You write the question, the subject, and then any additional context for the LLM. So sometimes, there could be multiple different ways to look at a problem. But if you want to go through a particular author's scenario, so maybe if you want to go through Jeremy's sort of take on things, you could put in, what would Jeremy think about this, and then or maybe give some context about what Jeremy thinks, and then you'll access the right weights in the model for the type of answer you're looking for. So you can see all these subjects that I've got in here. You can do a bulk upload. So if you've got an AI that you just want to sort of question and then get the answers into a particular format. So click on here. This is the format that the questions are going to be in: question, text, subject, name, and then adopt additional context. So it's up to you how you actually do it. I'm just been using this myself for the moment. We've got the performance, so you can look at each question. So if we go to this one here, click it. So we've got grade and descent improves improvements. To improve, users should focus on associated grade descent with minimizing the loss by moving in the direction of the steepest curve. Yep, so it gives me some feedback. So I'm saving all this information. This is important. Okay, and then I've also got the AI summary. So this is now sending all my evaluations, so all my sort of questions off to the LLM, and it's giving me an error. See if it does it this time. Could be that the LLM's busy. Here we go. So I've got maths fundamentals. Okay. What you're doing well, applying consistent, thank you. You correctly spotted the use of the algorithm to determine decision to help. And then it just gives me a few sort of clues. I've really got to work on this sort of prompt. But what we also get at the bottom here is we've got explain yours what are logarithms and why is inverse. So this is based, so it's suggesting questions based on what I've got wrong. And then I can add these, and then I can change in the subject and change the actual question if I want to, add an additional context, and that'll add that question for next time. So I'm working on concepts that I probably don't know or I'm weak on. So it's quite good from that point of view. So deep learning, talking about the QKV and the things that I've got wrong and things that I should work on. Yeah, so tiny improvements right now, sentence definition. So yeah, so on this one, most of the stuff things that it's picked out are things related to the QKV in transformers. So what questions that suggested? Talking about how does early vision management improve learn joint representations? Scenario, you must pick fusion strategy for a new VLM with limited compute. What would you use, early or late fusion and why? Ooh, good scenarios. That's really, quite like these sort of ones where they give you scenarios and you've got to think about it because it really sort of tests your knowledge. So I'm heading more towards adding more of those type of questions in there. Compare A versus B, multi-headed tension versus single-headed tension. What changes in capacity and computation, and when does the multi-head help the most? So yeah, so I could just add these as they are, add them to this. I'll change the subject actually. I'll change it to deep learning, which I was on. But you can put that into any subject you want. And that's it basically. There's more features that I've got planned, but this is it at the moment. I've been doing the Solve It course, so I've not had time to sort of work on everything. But yeah, I just thought I'd share what I've done so far, and it just allows me to continue learning in the Anki type format, but without taking up time when I've got doing something that I could be actually coding or doing a project or working at work. It's using up time when I'm not. It's just using up time when I'm doing things like washing up or driving or that kind of thing, where you've got time that's kind of wasted. So you can learn all the time, basically. Okay, cool. Thank you.